What if the person you decide to be rude to because of their skin color turned out to be your boss? Well, this is the story about an incident in which exactly that happened. The gleaming showroom of Greystone Motors was a shrine to luxury. Polished marble floors reflected the sleek curves of high-end cars, each with a price tag that could buy a modest house. The air was filled with the faint scent of leather and the low hum of classical music playing in the background. It was a space designed to exude opulence, catering to a clientele who could afford to spend six figures on a whim. On this particular afternoon, a tall black man in his mid-40s walked through the glass doors. Dressed in a simple button-down shirt, dark jeans, and well-worn sneakers, he didn't fit the typical image of the dealership's clientele. His name was Marcus Bennett, and his calm demeanor hit a mind as sharp as a blade. Marcus had made his fortune in the tech industry, founding and selling multiple startups. But despite his wealth, he preferred a low-profile lifestyle, shying away from the flashiness that often came with success. Today, however, was different. He had recently acquired Greystone Motors, though the transaction had been handled by his legal team, leaving the dealership staff unaware of their new boss's identity. As Marcus stepped into the showroom, he was greeted not with the usual politeness reserved for potential buyers, but with cold, assessing looks. Behind the reception desk, a young woman with a forced smile glanced at him briefly before turning her attention back to her computer. Nearby, the dealership manager, Tom Bradford, leaned against the desk, chatting with a sharply dressed couple. His laughter carried across the room until his eyes landed on Marcus. Tom's smile faded as he approached, his expression hardening. "Can I help you?" he asked, his tone clipped. Marcus nodded, his voice even. "I'm here to look at the Falcon X. I heard it's one of the best luxury sedans on the market." Tom's lips twitched into a tight smile, though his eyes betrayed his disdain. "The Falcon X starts at $150,000, he said pointedly. "And that's before any customizations or taxes. Are you sure this is the car you're interested in?" Marcus's expression didn't waver. "Yes, I'd like to take a closer look." Tom's smile grew sharper, almost condescending. "Well, that's quite an investment. Perhaps you'd be more comfortable checking out our pre-owned inventory?" Nearby, the receptionist suppressed a smirk, and the couple Tom had been speaking to exchanged amused glances. Marcus noticed it all but chose not to react. "I'm here for the Falcon X," he said simply. "Could you show it to me?" Tom's patience was clearly wearing thin. He crossed his arms, looking Marcus up and down. "Do you have an appointment?" "No, but I didn't realize I needed one," Marcus replied, his tone steady. "For vehicles in this price range, we usually schedule private viewings," Tom said, his voice dripping with faux professionalism. "We wouldn't want to waste anyone's time." Marcus's jaw tightened, though he maintained his composure. "I see. And what makes you think showing me the car would be a waste of time?" Tom hesitated, clearly flustered. "Well, it's just, customers interested in the Falcon X typically provide some proof of financial capability before we move forward." Marcus raised an eyebrow. "Proof of financial capability?" "Yes," Tom said, nodding. "Bank statements, credit checks, that sort of thing." "You understand." Marcus gave a small, humorless laugh. "I understand perfectly. Let's cut to the chase, Mr. Bradford. Are you refusing to show me the car because you think I can't afford it?" Tom's face turned a shade of red. "I didn't say that," he stammered. "You didn't have to," Marcus replied. The tension in the showroom was palpable. The receptionist pretended to type, stealing nervous glances at the scene, while the couple who had been chatting with Tom now watched with open curiosity. Tom straightened his posture, trying to regain control of the situation. "Look, sir, I'm just trying to manage my time efficiently. If you're serious about purchasing the Falcon X, perhaps you could provide some credentials. We can say the same about you watching at home. If you are serious, subscribe and like the video. Jokes aside, we always appreciate your support, so make sure to show it by helping us out. Now back to the story." Marcus stepped closer, his gaze steady. "Here's the only credential you need to know. I own this dealership." Tom blinked, his mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. "Excuse me?" he managed to say. "You heard me," Marcus said, pulling out his phone. With a few taps, he displayed an email confirming his ownership of Greystone Motors, complete with the dealership's logo and his name at the bottom. The color drained from Tom's face as he read the email. The receptionist's jaw dropped, and the couple quickly looked away, clearly embarrassed to have been witnesses to the unfolding drama. "I bought this dealership 2 weeks ago," Marcus continued, his voice calm but firm. "I came here today to see how things were run. Unfortunately, I've learned a lot more than I wanted to." "Mr. Bennett," Tom began, his voice trembling, "I had no idea. If you had known I was your boss, you would have treated me with respect," Marcus interrupted. "But you shouldn't need to know someone's title or bank account balance to treat them decently. The way you behaved today is unacceptable." Tom's face burned with humiliation. "Please, Mr. Bennett, I'll make it right. I promise," Marcus nodded slowly. "You'll have the chance to do that, starting with an apology." Tom swallowed hard, turning to face the rest of the showroom. "Ladies and gentlemen," he said, his voice shaking, "I owe Mr. Bennett a sincere apology for my behavior today. I made unfair assumptions and I was completely out of line. For that, I am deeply sorry." Marcus studied him for a moment before nodding. "Good. Now, I suggest you reflect on how you treat every customer who walks through those doors. Because from now on, this dealership will operate differently." The story of what happened at Greystone Motors spread quickly, first among the staff and then through social media as witnesses shared their accounts. Marcus's calm yet powerful handling of the situation became a testament to the importance of respect and humility. In the months that followed, Marcus implemented new training programs focused on customer service and diversity. He made it clear that every person, regardless of their appearance, deserved to be treated with dignity. Under his leadership, Greystone Motors flourished, becoming known not just for its luxury cars, but for its welcoming and inclusive atmosphere. One day, a young couple walked into the dealership, unsure of what to expect. They weren't dressed in designer clothes, and their nervous glances betrayed their lack of familiarity with luxury showrooms. But to their surprise, they were greeted warmly by the receptionist, and within minutes, a salesman offered them coffee while explaining the features of the cars. Marcus watched from his office, a satisfied smile playing on his lips. As for Tom, he stayed on at the dealership, humbled by the experience. He worked hard to prove himself, earning back the trust of both Marcus and the staff. And though the memory of that fateful day lingered, it served as a constant reminder of the lesson Marcus had taught him. True success is measured not by what you have, but by how you treat others. Tom often reflected on the moment Marcus revealed his identity. It wasn't just about embarrassment, it was a wake-up call. He had come dangerously close to losing his job and reputation because of his own biases. Now he made it a point to lead by example, mentoring younger staff members and ensuring that every customer, no matter their background, felt valued. Greystone Motors' transformation didn't go unnoticed. The dealership began earning awards for customer satisfaction and inclusivity, drawing praise from industry leaders. Marcus's story of quietly walking into his own business and calling out poor behavior became an inspiration for others, a reminder that leadership isn't just about authority, it's about making a difference. For Marcus, it was never about proving a point. It was about creating a culture where respect wasn't conditional, where success was shared, and where every individual, whether a customer, employee, or owner, felt like they belonged. And in the end, that was the greatest victory of all.